Suppose the distance between Paris and Berlin is 500 kilometers. Let's draw an imaginary straight line between these two cities and call that our x-axis. We can choose the direction of the positive x-axis. We can say that moving from Paris to Berlin is the positive way, or vice versa. Let's choose that the positive way is from Berlin to Paris. And let's also choose that Berlin would be at the 0 coordinate. So if the distance between Paris and Berlin is 500 kilometers and we drew this imaginary line between these two cities, straight line, and we chose Berlin to be 0, what would be the x-coordinate of Paris? The answer is 500 kilometers. Now let's keep the positive direction going the same way, but this time we choose 0 to be in Paris. What would be the x-coordinate of Berlin? The answer is minus 500 kilometers. Now, let's choose the positive direction to be from Paris to Berlin. And we choose Paris to be 0. What would be the x-coordinate of Berlin? 500. And if we choose the positive direction being from Paris to Berlin, and we choose Berlin to be at x equals 0, what would be the x-coordinate of Paris? Minus 500. And if we choose the positive direction going from Berlin to Paris, and we choose 0 to be exactly between the two cities, what would be the x-coordinate of Berlin and of Paris? In this case, Berlin would be minus 250, and Paris would be plus 250. And if we choose the positive direction of the x-axis to be from Paris to Berlin, and we choose the 0 coordinate to be exactly between these two cities, what would be the x-coordinate of Paris and Berlin? In this case, Paris would be minus 250 and Berlin would be plus 250. So this is an introduction on coordinate systems. And you see that in each of these cases, the distance between Paris and Berlin hasn't changed. It's only our imaginary coordinate system that has changed. The distance is always defined as the absolute value of the difference between the coordinates of the two cities. So you can see if in one example Paris was plus 500 and Berlin was 0, then the difference between them is the absolute value of it is 500. In another example, Paris was 0 and Berlin was minus 500, but still the absolute value of the difference between the coordinates of these two cities is still 500. So this is how coordinate systems work and distances.